Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So we're back again with more long-form Sikh content. I have done an introduction to myself and how I came into Sikhi already. I had at least one person asking about that. You just have to dig back through the videos I've done over the past couple weeks. But the point of this video will be to go on to the next chunk of the Mool Montar, Kartaa Purukh. So, let's refresh. Ik Onkar. Ik, one, Onkar. The universe expansion. So, universe expanding from the seed, the Ik. Then we get Satnam. Literally the name of truth, or the stamp of the Creator upon all things, which is very large and cosmically minded. Now, we move on. The next chunk of the Mool Mantar is Kartaa Purukh. And now we move on to things that I hear about less often in, like, I guess you would say, like, popular discourse, right? Kartaa Purukh. We'll just start off by defining the words themselves. Karta comes from the word kar, which means to do something. Karta is someone who is doing something, a doer. And a Purukh is kind of a way to refer to someone, a person, right? It can be, from what I gather, it can be used vernacularly as a general man, or it's often the way that in Punjabi language people refer to God from the Abrahamic faiths, because the Abrahamic conception of God as a being that we are in God's image, right? So we already know that God is not God, or the Creator, or the creation is infinitely more complex than a man who brings his hands down into our universe and molds it like a sculpture. And we can gather from Karta, someone doing, a person who is doing, and that the concept of this being the day of rest isn't accurate to the world we see around us. Now, in ancient times, when nature seemed still, except for the animals running about, it might have made sense to think that, oh, the Creator's done. He's just put a bunch of things there to run about and mess with each other. But the Creator is done with his creation and he's resting somewhere far away. Right? I'm using he to refer to God because of the religions that had the concept of the day of rest. But as we know, God is a wrong word. As we know, divinity is genderless. Gender is a human construct. It has nothing to do with the shape of greater things. So, Karta Purukh, a doer personality. Okay? What does that mean? How can we internalize that? We got that the universe is this big, expansive thing. We got that its name is on all of creation. But we also are learning, too, that beyond being just volition and movement, it is an entity, something with what you might be able to call a personality. This is hard to wrap our heads around because I think what the divine personality would be so intrinsic to our existence that we can't even perceive it, right? We've never known a different universe, a different God. There's only one way that we are, and we don't see it from the inside. But it is important that we know that this divinity can be interacted with consciously by us. Now, all things are in interaction with the divinity, unconscious or not. But we can recognize and see the personal aspects of creation all around us, of the Creator in its creation. Its Nam points us towards that. Its Satanam points us towards the Kartaa Purukh, the doer personality. It also is kind of a head trip to realize that when we can personify the divine, it helps our small minds to come to terms with our existence, right? The idea that we are made in God's image is very valid symbolically, right? But it's not a literal truth. We are made in God's image in that we are conscious and capable of expressing thought, of creating ourselves, of channeling creation through us to make something new. That is the point of Kartaa Purukh. Things are constantly in motion. This God person is constantly at work. He's always doing. Every interaction is a doing of the Creator. It's never over. Kartaa. Let's cycle back to what I was saying. Ancient peoples might have just seen a still world with naught but the animals bouncing around and some of the plants grow over time. But we know that if we zoom out far enough, worlds move at millions of miles an hour. And if we zoom in far enough, the frenetic energy of our biochemical processes and all things, the way the electrons circle around their neutrons in an atom is anything but still, is anything but at rest. This energy of doing is never ceases. And it is kind of like the background force behind the expansion, right? That initial burst of creation back in Iko Onkar, and the Satanam, that all things that came from the singularity bear its stamp. And now the Karta continuously doing, one that is continuously doing. It's important to realize that those things are macro, but they're also micro. Remember that we are emanations of the One. And we are always doing. Subconscious processes are always kicking off in the back of our heads, but also we can't live life without doing. Even just our physiological processes, our breathing, our heart rate, our gastronomical processes, everything is a constant doing in the universe, and that doing has a personable aspect, a thing that we can interact with and communicate with. And I would hazard to say that is Guru in a macro aspect, right? The enlightener. Now, this topic of Karata Purukh, like I said, it doesn't have as much developed resources on it as I have seen on Satanam or even Ikonkar, but it is just as important. It is part of the Mool mantra. And I hope that learning to see the personality of the Creator in ourselves and in all things around us makes our interaction with life, with the universe, a constant dialogue. It's a back and forth. The Creator talks to itself through us, through our learning, through our processing. As we shed our ego and become humble, that personality shines out of us more and more each day. Like I said, I will openly admit to any and all ignorance. No one knows everything about anything. But I hope that this video has taught us that we can interact with our spirit world, our Creator, our force, on a personal level, as though it is someone to talk to. We can imagine it as a person if we must. It is not some Lovecraftian idiot god. That an idiot god is a phrase meaning a god that doesn't think. This god is an all-pervasive being. An empty room contains even this personality. Now, this video might be a little bit longer, but I think that'll just be the trend until we finish the Mool mantra, because we rehash and then we connect the new term to the rest. Again, thank you for giving this your time, attention, and thought, and I hope that it spreads awareness to all people. However, whatever part of my teachings reaches you. It is all in the hukum of Vaheguru. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khasa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.